Start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, when I was in high school, this is in Franklin, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Junior and senior year. During the summertime, we caddied at a resort golf course up on top of the mountain called Highlands, North Carolina. And they paid you good back then. You would do double. You caddied for 2 guys in the morning, and they would give you $4 a piece. That's 8. You go out in the afternoon, well, that's $16. That's $80 a week. There's a lot of people work 40 hours and never got $80.
Wow.
But that was just for the summertime. So that was good. But I met this guy. His name was Bugsy.
Bugsy.
Bugsy, B-U-G-Y. He was a good fella, but he was Bugsy. Anyway, it was on this golf course. He dated a girl, and she had a sister, older by a year or so. So I got a blind date with her via him. It ended up, she's a senior, I'm a junior. I've been a procrastinator. I flunked part of the 10th grade due to that and working in the bowling alley and had to repeat 2 or 3 courses. So, but he got me a blind date with this gal. It just so happens she's an upcoming senior and the valedictorian.
Oh, dear Lord.
So, but anyway, I think she found out pretty quickly when I said "and" about 4 times. Not really, but no. She's a fine lady. She graduated a year before I did, as I mentioned. She went off to college to, do whatever she did. I never saw her again. Her name was Doris T.T.A.G.U.E. Her father owned a cannery.
Cannery?
Yeah, and the farm, and they canned the stuff, and he sold it somehow or another. Grocery store. He had a market for it.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a bunch of land and all that.
And then I think you said after her you went with the sheriff's daughter.
I did, and she was in my grade. She was in the 11th grade. Her name was Joan Thomas. Mr. Thomas was a sheriff. And so I just liked her. I don't know how. Asked her to go out or something. Went over to her house. We dated a few times. We dated and started dating. Went to each other, I guess, for that year. But we never got into serious sex or any of that stuff with any of the girls. That just wasn't the deal. When it came time to graduate, she was going to college, and I wasn't. So I decided, I don't know exactly why, I wanted to join the Air Force. I had an aunt who lived in Atlanta, a couple of them together. So I would go down and stay with them to go see a recruiter. So I first go to the Air Force. I go in, no one's there except the recruiter. He's sitting behind the desk. He doesn't even hardly look up at me. He's playing his role. I go down and sit in a chair, and after his predetermined amount of wait time, he said, "May I help you?" without looking up. And I said, "Well, yeah, I'd like to join the Air Force." He said, "We got about a 2 or 3 months backlog." Now, this was true because it was in July. All the early birds had already gone to see him in June when high school was first out. I thanked him, walked out the door, and I knew the Navy recruiter was right down the street. I went into the Navy recruiter, and he said, "Well, may we help you?" I said, "Well, that depends." He said, "What's that?" I said, "When I join the Navy, you can join tomorrow if you want to." I said, "Okay." I said, "But now I have to really go home to Franklin and take some clothes home." I was in Atlanta, 100 miles away or something, 30 miles. "No problem, we'll pay you airfare and back." I thought, "What's the mean? That takes care of it."
Wow.
So anyway, I signed up for the Navy. I took a test, and I qualified for what was called the electronic field. Well, in the electronics field, they have a number of specialties. One of them is electronics itself, others air traffic controller, a number of things. And so it ended up I got electronic school. This was after boot camp. So I went to boot camp, got out, and my school was in San Francisco on Treasure Island for 6 months of electronics training. They spent 16 weeks, 4 months on what they call basic electricity. And they took an atom and took it apart every which way they could. No. But so.
Electron, right?
Well, yeah. But anyway, in there, They send you to the dentist. They do all these things. So when I went, they wanted to pull my 4 molars, 2 in the back, 2 in the top. That's fine. But it set me back a week because I had to, let it heal a little bit to continue to go to class. So setting me back put me in a different graduating class. Now, normally radar went aboard ship because this is where all the radars are.
Wow.
They have a few land stations, but the radars are on ships. I hadn't, I was just accepting that. But because I got set back this week, when the orders came through, we thought they got them confused because we all got radar, we all got shore duty.
Where?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Barbers Point Naval Air Station in Hawaii, 30 miles from Honolulu.
So you served 5 years, 9 months in the Navy and never served aboard a ship.
Never went. Well, I went aboard one. I was in San Francisco going to school. It was 4th of July, and they had a destroyer and a cruiser or something like this, and a submarine pulled up in the harbor for the public to go look at. I went aboard the green clothes and looked at it. That was the end of my experience aboard a ship.